Star Wars, Young Jedi Knights, Jedi Under Siege. Chapter 10. The dim forest floor near the Great Temple was familiar ground for Luke Skywalker and most of his Jedi trainees. Even with a battle of light and dark raging around him, or perhaps because of the battle, he found it soothing to be out in the wild. The jungle itself was rich with life, and therefore rich in the force that bound all life together. Reaching down to confirm that his lightsaber securely attached to his belt next to his comlink, Luke drew on the force. He let it flow through him, let it show him the skirmishes all around him. Alert to the emotions of his students, Luke reached out to bolster flagging confidence in one trainee, to warn another against an unexpected attack, to send encouragement to yet another who was growing tired. An energy bolt from a TIE fighter sliced through the trees close by and set fire to the underbrush, forcing Luke to retreat behind a thicket to avoid choking fumes from the burning vegetation. With his mind, he searched for the center of the battle, the place where he could do the most good. Decades ago, when the Death Star loomed over the jungle moon, his mission had been clear. The battle station superlaser could turn on an entire planet to rubble. Luke had no doubt in his mind that Empire's most powerful weapon must be destroyed, and with the Force to guide him, he had succeeded. But today's battle was different. It had no focus. This time, he had no superweapons to disable. The Jedi Academy's long-range type missions had been jammed, their defensive shields sabotaged. With R2-D2 and the Shadow Chaser trapped in the Great Temple hangar bay, Luke had no way of reaching orbit to fight the Shadow Academy directly. The ground assault itself was directed from the giant battle platform that hovered over the treetops a few kilometers away. But Luke sensed that the military component of the attack was mere harassment. The TIE fighters had made direct attacks in the Great Temple, and yet ground forces and Dark Jedi had been sent to fight on a nearly even footing against Luke's students. With a different strategy, the Shadow Academy's victory could have been easier, but it seemed as if Brackus wanted to do it the hard way. Luke knew that must be the answer. A loud incoming message signal on his comlink startled him. Students at the Yavin Academy rarely earned comlinks, but the Jedi Master kept one at his side during times of turmoil so he could be reached more easily. Even though the Shadow Academy had jammed long-range transmissions, local signals from R2-D2 could still get through. Luke switched on his comlink. Sit tight, R2. We'll be able to get you in the fight so the fighting's over. Before he could say any more, a man's voice blared from the tiny speaker. Message for Luke Skywalker. Repeat, this is a message for Luke Skywalker. If anyone can hear me, respond immediately. Luke stared at the small device for replying. Who is this? Before he could hear the answers, Jedi senses told him the man's identity. You can call me Master Brackus, the voice said. Tell your teacher that I'm transmitting on all channels. He will want to speak to me. This is Luke Skywalker, he said. If you have a message, Brackus, you can give it to me directly. Luke's heart knocked painfully against his ribcage, though from surprise rather than fear. A cultured laugh came over the comlink. Well, my old teacher, the man I once called Master. This is a pleasure. What do you want, Brackus? Luke asked. A meeting, the smooth voice replied. Just the two of us, on neutral ground, as equals. We didn't have a chance to finish our conversation when you came to my Shadow Academy to rescue your Jedi brats. Luke paused to consider. A meeting with Brackus. Maybe this was the answer to the problem he had been trying to solve. After all, who was more central to this battle than the leader of the Shadow Academy himself? If Luke could reason with Brackus, turn him away from the dark side, this battle would be won before too many lives were lost. Where, Brackus? What neutral territory do you propose? I think both your academy and mine are out of the question right now. Agreed. Away from the fighting, then, across the river in the temple of the Blue Leaf Cluster. We must come alone. Will you? Luke asked. Brackus gave a rich chuckle. Of course, I have no need for reinforcements. And I know you are true to your word. Luke paused to reassure himself that the Force was indeed guiding his actions. Both he and Brackus were strong enough in the Force to sense betrayal by the other. Very well, Brackus. I will meet you there alone. We can settle this once and for all.